Well, folks, this is an eye-opener. We have a new report today from Giant Freakin Robot, a notorious rumor and news site for Star Wars, Lucasfilm, a lot of things out there, Marvel, Cinematic Universe, comic books, all kind of stuff. And they are reporting that Harrison Ford has perhaps been spotted on a Lucasfilm set for something other than Indiana Jones 5. Matter of fact, it would involve something by the name of Book of Boba Fett, or perhaps Mandalorian Season 3. We're going to talk about this today, and I have a good friend of mine here, Coach from the Echo Base Network. If you're not sub to Echo Base, they're the best Star Wars fan channel out there on YouTube. I would highly encourage all the Star Wars fans out there, make sure you go sub to them, check out their streams, check out their videos by all means. And you know, this makes a lot of sense to me today. We've had Harrison Ford on the set of Indiana Jones 5 now for months, and we know almost factually at this point, and arguably, that Indiana Jones 5 is going to involve a lot of de-aging of Mr. Ford, putting him into a young Indiana Jones situation. In fact, Lucasfilm earlier this year hired famous YouTuber Shamook, reportedly and ostensibly, to work on this kind of project, as his talents are just absolutely unparalleled, as we've all seen from his YouTube videos. Would it not make a ton of business sense for ILM to then migrate this capital that they have already spent over on Mr. Ford to use in the Star Wars universe and make him a young Han Solo? Wouldn't cost all that much considering what they've already invested, in my opinion. I think this has a lot of merit to it, and we're going to talk about this in more detail right now. Here we go. Renegade Online. All right, folks, welcome back. A little bit different format today on this one. You know, we usually talk about things that we see in the Hollywood media, things that pop up that catch our attention from the business side. But, you know, one of the loves and the passions that I have and always have had since a little kid is Star Wars. And I've done a number of Star Wars videos on here. And we've got some really cool news that popped up that I think from a fan perspective is extremely fascinating, and that I think from a business perspective makes a lot of sense, and I want to get into the details why. But I have a very good friend of mine joining me today for the first time on Valiant Renegade, somebody that actually gave me my first, well, let's call it a start on YouTube. The first time I was ever on a live stream was with Coach from Echo Base Network, which is the best Star Wars fan channel out there on YouTube. So, Coach, welcome aboard for the first time. Tell the audience out there a little bit about yourself and Echo Base.
Well, thank you, Valiant. I'm really excited to be here. As Valiant said, I'm Coach from Echo Base Network. We have a Star Wars centric channel. We also cover all of the other things in entertainment, but Echo Base Network is a channel ran by myself and my longtime best friend, Nick. We've been best friends because of Star Wars for 32 years now, and we just love keeping everybody up to date on the news, on the lore, looking back, retrospectives, tributes. We have great live shows, so we love Star Wars that we grew up with, and yeah, absolutely, that's what we do.
Yep, and you guys have apart from putting out some great regular videos on the Echo Base Network channel, you guys do some tremendous live streams on Thursday, and you're now back on Saturday nights again, I understand.
Yes. Yeah, we have a live stream show. We've had some really, really big ones. Some titans of the YouTube industry have been on our show. And we've had probably, arguably, the biggest Star Wars live stream of all time on YouTube. So yeah, we have a show every Saturday night, occasionally Thursdays, but every Saturday night you can catch us at 7:00 p.m. Central Time, and it's a lot of fun.
Yep, and I know Coach won't brag on this too much, so I'll do it for him. There's not many YouTubers out there, Star Wars channels, that get retweeted by Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. So, and they did. They did. So, all right, so Coach, so we have got some really cool news today that caught my attention. And again, usually I'm sticking to the business side of things. I talk about the rumor stuff from time to time when I think there's merit to it. This is one of those times, and I want to talk about why, but I wanted to bring you here to get your impression on this. Here we go. This is from Giant Freakin Robot just today. Brand new piece. Harrison Ford, they're claiming, this is their article, we're the messengers, don't shoot us for relaying the message. They are claiming that they have information that Harrison Ford is returning to Star Wars as Han Solo. Coach, what you think about this?
Well, so as a fan of Star Wars, it's absolutely mind-blowing. I never thought we would see Han Solo played by Harrison Ford again. Now, I know you're about to get into the news a little bit more. We knew things like this were coming. We knew the deepfake technology and all that. We knew that's headed towards Star Wars. There's no doubt. They've been very transparent with that. That's where we are headed. And the fact that they're, rumor also has it, Valiant, that they're doing the same thing with Indiana Jones and Harrison Ford, in the new movie coming up. But I'm blown away as a Star Wars fan that it's Harrison Ford that's the person that's doing it. Like he's the first one. Like this is absolutely mind blowing. And the rumor is that he's on set Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett. Valiant, if he's on set for the Book of Boba Fett, that is amazing as a Star Wars fan.
That's a kind of rematch or face to face that a lot of Star Wars fans have been waiting for since 1983 with ROJ. I mean, it would be, and it makes a lot of sense, as you said, because he's been, this is what they're doing with Indy 5. I did a video months ago talking about, okay, when Harrison had his injury, and we're so glad that he's healed up and he's back, rolling at full steam again. But he was out for 2 or 3 months. That production was hamstrung. And we saw where they were filming with stunt doubles with motion tracking dots and things like this. And as somebody who's been since a kid, a fan of VFX and learning how it's done, my dad and I used to love to have conversations about that. I mean, immediately I recognized, all right, they're going to deep fake this. Mm-hmm. How much of this is going to be deep fake? And I started wondering, what else are they going to do? And if you recall, Coach, a few months ago, we got the news that the infamous YouTuber Shamook was hired by Lucasfilm. Mm-hmm. And then we find out a few months later about this whole Indy stuff and that they're going to be, de-aging him. And of course, Shamook had these incredible YouTube videos where he did the de-aging. He basically redid that final scene in Mando season 2 with Luke, and it looked incredible. Not that Lucasfilm's didn't look incredible, but his looked even better. He did the same thing with Solo, so he's already done it. He did it with Indiana Jones and even Chris Pratt. It was incredible. So this is the guy who's doing this work, and it's amazing to me to look at this.
Well, and you said it. Shamook does incredible work, and that's why we knew it was coming. And for all the criticism that we give Disney, that is one thing Lucasfilm did right. Mm-hmm. They immediately saw after Chapter 16, The Mandalorian, which, by the way, that happened a year ago Saturday, Valiant. Yep. A year ago Saturday was when Chapter 16 debuted, and we got to see the Luke face for the first time. Well, it looked a little off to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Now, the majority of the fan base were so happy to see him in any way, it didn't bother us. But there were some people that was like, his face doesn't look right. And then on Shamook's page, he deep fakes it, and it looks so much better from what he did. And that's why I got to give Disney props, because they immediately went out and they hired the guy. They put that guy to work. And so you knew this was coming. But here it is. We're right here on the onset of the Book of Boba Fett, and this news is breaking. And it's Harrison Ford, of all people. The same Harrison Ford that said he would never be back in Star Wars. The same Harrison Ford that we were actually, he's the reason why Mark Hamill didn't think there was any chance they would even have a sequel trilogy, because he wouldn't come back and play that role.
Yep.
But he did. And he played it well. He played it, say what you want about the movie, he played it well. And now here we are, 79 years old.
Job.
Yeah, 79 years old. He's coming back to the character. He's coming back to Star Wars where it all began. And we got one more chance, Valiant, to say thank you and to get behind him being in this show.
I completely agree. I thought, performance-wise, he did a phenomenal job in that first movie of the sequel trilogy, The Force Awakens. We can say what we want about maybe some of the writing decisions in terms of how they handled the character, and I know there's some folks out there, some Star Wars fans that didn't like it. But again, that's not Mr. Ford's fault. He's he's a hired gun to play a character. He's got to follow the script. That being said, I think for all the right reasons, he's coming back, and I look at this from a business perspective, and then I want to wrap up with maybe some theories you and I can come up with quickly as how this might play out if it does wind up being the Book of Boba Fett, or if it does wind up being Mando season 3, because I think it's absolutely on the table, because this is a totally Jon Favreau thing to do. We know that now after Skywalker Return. But from a business side, after hiring Shamook, and this is a credit more specifically than Lucasfilm, but this is a credit, in my opinion, to ILM, to Industrial Lights and Magic, which is under the Lucasfilm banner. The guys and girls that have been there working at ILM for 20, 30, in some cases more than 30 years, the Rob Breedows and guys like this that are running ILM now, that, they were bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kids when George hired them way back when, because they had a vision. They could do crazy things and they could figure out new ways to do it. And it's my credit to those same type of visionaries that I think Lucas had his hand on, giving them the opportunity, that are now where Lucas was 30 years ago, and saying, you know what, here's this kid out here on YouTube, and I don't know how old Shamook is. I don't know anything about him. Nobody really does. But here's a guy on YouTube that does amazing work. You know what? It would be such a George thing to do, to go grab this kid and say, you come in on the team, because we've seen what you do. You can do some amazing work. You arguably beat our own technicians at our own game. We want you. And from a business perspective, obviously Lucasfilm has already sunk millions, tens of millions, probably by the time that Indy 5 is done, in capital, to de-age Ford and to produce that young Indy look. If I'm running ILM, or if I'm Jon Favreau, I'm walking over there going, y'all already got him in the computer. Y'all have already spent $30 million doing this Indy 5 post-production, or you're fixing to. Let's take that work that you've already done, that's already been expensed out, and let's move the construct over to this, because we can use it. We can maximize our return on this investment. It probably won't cost but maybe $1 million or $2 million more to retweak things like his hair, to make him go from young Indy, to young Han. It's not going to take much fixing. And of course, you're going to have to write Harrison another check to use his likeness in another property. But again, compared to the amount of work of starting from scratch to do this, it's a negligible expense. I think this rumor is 95% on the money, at least. I totally believe this, and that's why.
Well, and the thing about the rumor sites, though, Valiant, is like, so many people say, oh, you got this from Giant Freakin Robot. They've been right a whole bunch of times.
They have.
When you go to Giant Freakin Robot, when you go to Inside the Magic, they've got their sources, and they have been right many, many times. And for this one, this stands to reason. Like, and here's the other thing too: if Harrison Ford is on set for the Book of Boba Fett, then Star Wars is making a Star Wars show for Star Wars fans, and that's going to get us all very excited.
Yeah, I agree. And look, here's the other thing. And just again, from a practical standpoint, technically speaking, Harrison might not even need to be on the set to do this. And if he, and again, theorizing here, if he said, I really don't want to commit any more time to this, I don't want to come back as Han, but I'll sign a contract to transfer the use of my likeness that you're building for Indy 5 over to a Star Wars project, to where, just as they did on Indy 5, and I can't remember the actor's name, but they had the stunt double stand-in for him. If you see that same guy's name pop up on IMDb for Book of Boba Fett or Mando 3, you know what's going on. So, I mean, now I hope they'll get him on there for at least a couple of shots or something like that to make it legit, like they did with Mark Hamill. But again, Harrison Ford may decide, I don't really want to do it myself. But I will let you, I will sign the contract, and I will give you my license to do this. and they'll write him a check for $5 million or $10 million just to whatever it is. I could totally see that. But I think this is, again, it's one of these things where please go back and honor these characters and make things right. I know there's a lot of people out there that look at these shows, and that, Coach, I'd like you to speak to this for a moment, if you would, that look at what's going on and they say, you know what? I don't care what it is. I don't care how good it is. You know, it's all going to lead to the sequel trilogy, and all these characters get trashed anyway. So why should I care now? Now, personally, I believe, as I've said many times, if Disney believes they can make a buttload of money by altering the trajectory of potentially a new Star Wars timeline, they will absolutely do it. This is a money-making game. This is a money-making business. It may take years for us to see it come to fruition, and it may be a very slow burn of a change, but I think they could do it. But what would you say to the fans like that are so discouraged?
Man, I have read those comments so many times, and like I just posted a small clip today of looking back at a year ago when Luke surprised everybody and showed up in Chapter 16 of The Mandalorian. And every time I post anything about Luke, somebody posts in the comments, well, it doesn't matter because he leads to Jake Soywalker and all this. And I understand. I understand where they're coming from. I understand the pain. Those are people who, I don't know because I'm not them, but I'm just going to assume those are people who just have no hope. They don't have a hope that it's going to turn around. They don't have a hope that the world between worlds and the alternate realities and all this stuff's going to happen. I do. And here's the thing, Valiant. If we don't, as a fan base, have hope and we don't speak out what we really want to see, then we're losing. Remember, it was Jon Favreau himself that talked about the conversations at the water cooler. And that if you're not doing what the fans love, then you're not doing your job. Well, it's our job as fans to make sure that we're heard and they know what we want. You know, and Favreau, up to date, has delivered. If you want great Star Wars in the future, ladies and gentlemen, we need to get behind Favreau and show him the support.
I totally agree. And I understand there's a lot of diehard fans out there that know every line and verse of every EU book out there. Man, I have a tremendous amount of respect for those people because they are diehard fans. They know more about Star Wars than I could ever hope to learn because they have studied it because they've been such passionate fans. And I understand that not everything is going to fit into every line and verse that they've ever read. And sometimes, obviously, when movies or TV shows are made, there has to be a certain, call it artistic licensor, that has to change to fit a mold that goes into a movie or TV show. But I think at the end of the day, this is my personal opinion, is that if the things that need to be changed are changed, and that is the treatment and respect for the core characters, the Luke Skywalkers, the Han Solos, you can still lead, in my opinion, if you still want to lead up to a first order that would, at this point, seems to involve maybe Thrawn or something like that. That's all fine and dandy. I'm great with that. Just don't alter the characters. Don't alter the Luke Skywalkers. Don't alter the Han Solos, the Leias, and everything else. Give those characters respect. Let them stand on their own as they originally did. And most importantly, change it to where you restore the Skywalker legacy, the defeat of Palpatine, and don't alter things around that.
I agree, bro. I agree. Well said.
Yep. So, Coach, any final thoughts before we check out tonight?
Well, guys, it's coming. It's just, we're less than 15 days away from the Book of Boba Fett. I don't think we're going to get a Han Solo appearance in episode 1.
No.
But who knows? Who knows?
It'll be like one of those, it'll be a season finale kind of thing where he'll just walk into the light and you'll see him and everybody's going to go, oh my God.
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing I could see. Because, I think about it and I say, okay, all of this probably came about in the last few months as Indy started filming. I don't know how much pre-planning there was. It almost seems like it was, I think Jon Favreau probably got wind of what was going on with Indy 5 and they're doing all this de-aging and CGI and like, wait, we could totally piggyback on this. It could be something as simple as that, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Star Wars is heating up. It's a good time.
It is. It is. So Book of Boba Fett comes out in a couple of weeks. Everybody out there, thanks for joining us tonight. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Share this video out. Drop a comment before you go. I want to hear your thoughts and what you think about Han Solo coming back, potentially. If you think it's bogus, tell me it's bogus. Tell me why you think it's bogus, or tell me why you want to see him coming back. And make sure you go check out Echo Base Network on YouTube and subscribe to them as well. Check out their live streams and their videos. Live streams on Thursday and Saturday nights, 7 p.m. Central. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Here. Let's do this again very soon.
Love to. Anytime.
Take care, folks.